My brothers and sisters, you are now watching the Gamer 2323, so just forget about the chores you're supposed to do. Put your feet up, get your Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, get whatever you may need! And I hope you enjoy the video. Well, alright. Space Jam 2. Yeah, first off, let me start off by saying this. This movie is not as bad as others was making it seem, bro. Like, the way people was dogging and ragging on this movie, I was expecting this junk to be like complete trash. Was this movie great? No. Did it have cringe-worthy acting from LeBron James? Yes. Did a lot of the jokes just not go over? Yes. Did I expect LeBron to display this Oscar-worthy performance in this movie? No. Like, one of the biggest criticisms about this movie is, oh, LeBron's acting is so cringe-worthy. He's horrible in this movie. Really? Gee, I don't know. I mean, I could just be, let me just throw this out there, you know, just to see what you guys think. I don't know. Maybe it's because LeBron is not an actor. maybe it's because for this man's whole life, he's done nothing but play basketball. I don't know. Like, I don't know what people was expecting from like LeBron in this movie. Everything that I got from LeBron in this movie is what I expected from LeBron James. And I haven't seen the first Space Jam in years, so it was hard to kind of make a direct comparison with this movie to that movie. A lot of my viewers were saying that the first Space Jam felt more grounded, and I don't know if the word to use is realistic when it comes to like the Looney Tunes and stuff like that, but a lot of them was saying that, you know, that story made a lot more sense, you know, the plot and stuff. I definitely do remember that movie having a lot more classic moments and stuff, but then again, I was much younger when the first Space Jam came out. I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Did Michael Jordan have this Oscar-worthy performance in his Space Jam movie? Was he like the Denzel Washington of NBA players when it comes to acting? It's like, I don't know. Everything, yes. LeBron's lines and just his delivery at times was hysterical to me because it was just so bad. Like, it really seemed at times LeBron was like this. Oh, come on, son. Pick up the basketball. I love you. You have to try harder and always try to achieve your goal. Like, it really sounded like he was reading like directly off of a script sometimes, and just the way he would deliver his lines it was just bad. It was bad. Yes, it was cringy, but it was hilarious because it's LeBron James. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I just feel like some people are just being overly, I don't want to say overly critical with this movie because, you know, you can judge a movie based on how much you enjoy it, stuff like that, and that's regardless of what kind of movie it is. You know, people critique the first Space Jam, so why can't people critique this one? You know, so but I will say, I feel like people, I don't know, with LeBron, I just feel like people be overly negative with LeBron because, one, this man has like done little to nothing wrong in his whole entire career. Like, he has no really like blemishes on his career, like outside of the decision, I guess, stuff like that. Like, LeBron has a lot of fans, but he also has a lot of haters. First off, I thought this Skip Bayless tweet, Skip Bayless has literally made a whole damn career off of hating on this man. Look at this tweet, bro. I thought this joke was hysterical. Like, just the way this man goes out of his way to like hate on LeBron, and it's not just Skip. A lot of people do this when it comes to LeBron, and I just always found it kind of interesting and weird how, like, say what you will about LeBron, but outside of basketball, he seems like a good person, a good father, a good role model. You know, he stands up for a lot of, you know, social justice and stuff, and, you know, has his voice be heard. Seems like he cares, about his community of people. And Michael Jordan, on the other hand, this man has been known to be like labeled as like an asshole, freaking, during times of where, he should speak up on like the black community. Michael Jordan has said, hey, Republicans buy shoes too. And like suckers worship the ground that Michael Jordan walks on. I just always found it like hilarious how like, just how people treat LeBron and how people treat Jordan when like LeBron seems like the way nicer guy. So I will say I don't want to say that people are being overly critical with this movie, because regardless of what the movie is, I do feel like you should be able to judge it. But I will say I feel like people are being overly negative and criticizing this movie a little too hard just because of the fact that it's LeBron James. This movie definitely is more passable as far as like acting from people and stuff like that when it goes to like when it goes to the animation, when it's in the real world, stuff like that, the acting is kind of like Don Cheadle was in this movie. He was okay, he definitely I felt like at times was carrying this movie, but again, Don Cheadle actually does this. He's a like legit bona fide actor. Zendaya, who I didn't even know was in this movie until like yesterday, she voices the voice of Lola Bunny. I know she was also getting criticized how like just her voice acting wasn't that good as Lola Bunny. I mean, yeah, I guess she could have been a better, but I didn't think she was like horrible in this movie. This movie had a lot of references and stuff, and a lot of like kind of characters that you would have to like look like during like the big game. You would have to like be looking in like the background to see like all of like the references and like characters that you can see in the background. This movie had a few jokes that did hit. One joke that I thought was like the best one really hit, and that's like towards like during the game section. Yeah, a lot of jokes just was not funny. Some jokes though did work. I do think though that this movie was relying a lot more on just like it just seemed at times like they was just throwing like a whole bunch of animation at you and like just a whole bunch of craziness and graphics and a whole bunch of like, hey, you remember this character, stuff like it felt like it was just throwing out a whole bunch of stuff than actually trying to have a solid story. And I definitely will say this movie felt like that. It didn't use music as well as the first Space Jam. That I can tell you for a fact. I swear at times like they threw out Kirk Franklin songs to rap songs to like, it was like they just throw like all this different other types of stuff out there. So yeah, I mean that I can say for a fact. Again, I have to watch the first Space Jam to like really compare it, but I vividly remember like that stuff being better in the first Space Jam compared to this one. But yeah, I mean I found some enjoyment in this movie. I didn't have high expectations for Space Jam 2. I just didn't. I don't know if like suckers was I was much younger when the first Space Jam came out, so a lot of things of just how we look at movies when we're older compared to how when we're younger, some things that I might have liked in the first Space Jam might be corny to me today if once I rewatched that movie, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean I still found some enjoyment in this movie, and I ended up giving this movie like a 5.5 or like a 6 out of 10. It's kind of what I expected. I expected nothing more. I expected LeBron to have cringeworthy acting in this movie. I expected his deliveries to be weak in this movie. Like, that's just what I expected, because LeBron James is not an actor. He plays basketball for a living, stuff like that. But yeah, man, I mean, that's really all I have to say about this movie. What did you guys feel about the first? I mean, not the first, but what if you've seen the first Space Jam recently, How did you feel about the first Space Jam compared to this one? Stuff like that. What was y'all expectations for this movie? I had low expectations, so you can never really, as long as you have low expectations, you can't disappoint yourself going in, you know? So, yeah. How did you guys feel about Space Jam 2, A New Legacy? Stuff like that. Is this LeBron's attempt at trying to brainwash the youth and, you know, try to get people to believe, hey, I'm the real goat. Look at me, not Jordan. You know, let me know what you thought about Space Jam 2, A New Legacy. Those are my thoughts on other movie and stuff like that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. So the next video, my brothers and sisters, I'll catch y'all boys in my next one. All right. Meow. I hate you, LeBron.